What's up, everybody, and welcome to Read the Bible with me. I'm Stan Jr., and today we're looking at 1 Samuel chapter 4. And if you are new here, go ahead and click subscribe to this channel and turn on your notification bell. And if you're a Bible Club member, thank you so much for being here. Comment below and like this video. Let me know that you watched it. A Bible Club member is someone that supports the ministry with $10 a month through our Patreon account. So I'm so thankful for you guys, for your support, because we're able to send Bibles to persecuted Christians everywhere around the world, as well as missionaries. So your $10 goes a long way, I promise you. We sow into a ministry called Voices of Martyrs. And with all of us putting our research together, we can send more missionaries and more Bibles around the world. And that's what the mission of this ministry is, to just simply read the Bible and share the Bible with people. Amen. So let's get started with chapter 4 and verse 1. It says, "And the word of Samuel came to all Israel. Now Israel went out to battle against the Philistines. They encamped at Ebenezer, and the Philistines encamped at Aphek. The Philistines drew up in line against Israel, and when the battle spread, Israel was defeated by the Philistines, who killed about 4,000 men on the field of battle. And when the troops came to the camp, the elders of Israel said, 'Why has the Lord defeated us today before the Philistines? Let us bring the ark of the covenant of the Lord here from Shiloh, that it may come along with us among us and save us from the power of enemies.' So the people sent to Shiloh and brought from there the ark of the covenant of the Lord of hosts, who is enthroned on the cherubim." Now, the problem is they did not ask God if they should do that. And then the other problem is the presence of God had left the children of Israel for a long time now. Because as we saw in the last chapter, the Lord did not speak frequently and give visions frequently in this time. He was not happy with the children of Israel, so that was not the smart thing to do. They should have prayed, repented for whatever they were going through. And so verse 4 it says, "So the people sent to Shiloh and brought from there the ark of the covenant of the Lord of hosts, who is enthroned on the cherubim, and the two sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, were there with the ark of the covenant of God. As soon as the ark of the covenant of the Lord came into the camp, all Israel gave a mighty shout, so that the earth resounded. And when the Philistines heard the noise of the shouting, they said, 'What does this great shouting in the camp of the Hebrews mean?' And when they learned that the ark of the Lord had come into the camp, the Philistines were afraid, for they said, 'Our God has come into the camp.' And they said, 'Woe to us, for nothing like this has ever happened before. Woe to us! Who can deliver us from the power of these mighty gods? These are the gods who struck the Egyptians with every sort of plague in the wilderness. Take courage and be men, O Philistines, lest you become slaves to the Hebrews as they have been to you. Be men and fight.' So the Philistines fought, and Israel was defeated, and they fled every man to his own home. And there was a great slaughter, for there fell of Israel 30,000 foot soldiers. And the ark of God was captured, and the two sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, died. A man of Benjamin ran from the battle line and came to Shiloh that same day, with his clothes torn and with dirt on his head. When he arrived, Eli was sitting on his seat by the road, watching for his heart trembled for the ark of God. And when the man came into the city and told the news, all the city cried out. When Eli heard the sound of the outcry, he said, 'What is this uproar?' Then the man hurried and came and told Eli. Now Eli was 98 years old, and his eyes were set so that he could not see. And the man said to Eli, the man said to Eli, 'I am he who has come from the battle. I fled from the battle today.' And he said, 'How did it go, my son?' He who brought the news answered and said, 'Israel has fled before the Philistines, and there has also been a great defeat among the people. Your two sons also, Hophni and Phinehas, are dead, and the ark of the God has been captured.' As soon as he mentioned the ark of God, Eli fell over backward from his seat by the side of the gate, and he broke his neck, and he died. For the man was old and heavy, and he had judged Israel for 40 years. Now his daughter-in-law, the wife of Phinehas, was pregnant, about to give birth, and when she heard the news that the ark of God was captured, that her father-in-law and her husband were dead, she bowed and gave birth, for her pains came upon her. So she went into labor when she found out that news, and about the time of her death, a woman attended her, said to her, "Do not be afraid, for you have bore a son." But she did not answer or pay attention, and she named the child Ichabod, saying, "The glory has departed from Israel, because the ark of God has been captured, and because her father-in-law and her husband." And she said, "The glory has departed from Israel, for the ark of God has been captured." She knew that God has been long gone, that she thought it was because the ark had been captured, but obviously God wasn't with them in the battle. 30,000 men or 34,000 men died in one battle. And the elders said, "Why is God not here with us? Obviously, we've lost this battle." And rather than praying and asking and repenting, what they normally do when they lose a battle, they just said, "Oh, just get the Ark of the Covenant sitting in there like a good luck charm." And it got stolen, and they lost the battle. The glory of God is not there. And let me tell you something. In churches today, there's some churches that got a lot of money. They got a lot of stuff to hide and cover up that the presence of God is long gone, that God is not coming to church on Sunday. The glory has departed because the enemy has captured. They've given it, in this case, in our case, to the enemy. And so that was chapter 4 of the book of 1 Samuel. I pray that you had a great reading with me this morning or whenever you're reading. And I'm grateful for your donations as a patron. Please become a patron. If you've been benefiting from this ministry at all, pray about becoming someone that supports the ministry, all right? I love you, and I think I'll see you same time tomorrow if you would like to. And we'll be reading chapter 5 of the book of 1 Samuel. Peace.